Howdy, partner, and welcome back to Mr. Payne Games, where I'll attempt to help you game your English class. It's always good to see friends and catch up, isn't it? Since we're best buds, go on and hit that like button for me. Each like and subscribe I get moves me closer to peddling merch like a snake oil salesman. Nah, I'm just kidding. But really, I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm dedicating this episode of Mr. Payne Games to my mom. She influenced me and my ideas in probably more ways than she even knows, and I think this video will explain at least one way. Love you, Mom. In today's episode, I want to spend some time talking about something that I definitely don't get to spend enough time discussing in my classes. Most people do literary analysis in a pretty casual way. We know when we read a story or watch a movie or even listen to people talk whether we believe them or not. We can choose which characters we like. We know whether or not the story speaks to us on a personal level. Most people can even explain why they do or do not like a story. All of these things are, in fact, literary analysis. The experts would probably call this kind of literary analysis reader response, because it's all about how each individual responds to the story. Your response can be as unique as you are. But I always urge caution, because not every interpretation of a story is correct. If you misunderstand something in the story because maybe the language is a little unclear to you, then your interpretation could fall a little short. Really, though, that isn't what this episode is about. No, today I want to talk about feminism as a literary analysis lens. When you think of glasses, the lenses are the pieces that a person looks through in order to see their surroundings more clearly. Feminism as a lens works the same way. We can look at some stories through the lens of feminism and sometimes understand it better. There are times when feminism may not be the best lens to look through, and believe me, there are plenty of other lenses to choose from. Imagine the stand of sunglasses at the store with all of those sunglass lenses. There might not be quite that many literary analysis lenses, but there are definitely more than a few. However, feminism is often a great lens to look through when we have stories with female characters like Mass Effect. If you've been watching my other episodes, you know that I record mostly a male shepherd in Mass Effect. I did that because I wanted to be able to show viewers a consistent character in each video, but I actually prefer to play the game as a female shepherd. If I had to explain why, I would probably blame my mother, which puts me in a really convenient place for psychoanalysis. Just ask Freud. Really, my mom probably doesn't realize it, but when I was growing up, I remember watching one movie in particular that had a strong female role with her. This woman in the movie went into a house full of burly men and shaped them right up. Millie was my first love, and ever since, I've had an abiding admiration for strong women. So, when I play a shepherd character who is a capable, smart, charismatically, and totally strong woman, it's kind of satisfying for me. So let's get down to it. Mass Effect does allow people to choose shepherd's sex, male or female, which means that the female character has the ability to do anything and everything that the male character does. This may not seem like a big deal to some, but given the long-standing tradition of women characters who are weak-willed, frail, simple, bordering on stupid, or overly emotional, to portray a female character as completely equal to men is a big change. Let me say that there is a lot of literature out there that does not portray women in those negative ways, but my goal is to spend a few minutes analyzing Mass Effect and not all of the others. It's also worth noting that there are other female characters who are awesome in this game. You can take any of the female characters with you on missions, and they have incredibly useful skills to pay the bills. Heck, there's even an entire alien race that is made up of females, and it's the oldest, most respected alien race in the galaxy. The Asari have intellect and strength that can sustain them when other mere mortals would falter and fail. Feminism as a lens doesn't just look for strong female characters like we find in Mass Effect, though. A lot of the time, feminism examines and explains why female characters are depicted the way that they are. Why does Scout have to feel bad about wearing overalls and liking to curse and To Kill a Mockingbird? Why does everyone expect her to be a lady? Why would she want to be a lady when the boys are the ones who get to do all of the fun stuff? In Lord of the Flies, there's not a single female character, not one. Why would the author leave them out? Is he sexist? What might have happened on that island if there had been a mixture of boys and girls? For one possible answer to that question, look at the Netflix CW show The 100. It's an awesome show, and it has some strong female lead actors. Questions like the ones just mentioned all give us a better understanding of a story. Mass Effect not only includes female characters in the action, but it gives them the power to make their own choices and stand toe-to-toe with men. In a subtle way, that suggests that the stereotypes that separate men and women are flawed, that readers and gamers should consider the possibility that women have those same positive attributes that men are often granted in literature. Now, one problem remains, though. The women in Mass Effect are mostly dressed in extremely tight-fitting, suggestive, and probably uncomfortable clothing. Seriously, there cannot be room for pockets in the bodysuit that Miranda wears in Mass Effect 2 and 3. So, while the game does a lot to empower women, it still serves to objectify them in some ways. That means the game is trying to use the shape of the women's bodies to sell the game. The next question is, why would they do that? Well, that's a can of worms that's part and parcel of an American culture that is fixated on appearances. In short, and to quote many, many songs, television shows, and articles around the internet, sex sells. Now that I've pulled that enormous bowl into the room with all the fine china, I'm going to exit out the nearest door. I may come back to that idea in another episode. After all, it is important to know your audience and what they expect. That's something to think about, isn't it? In the comments, tell me who your favorite female character is. Is it Black Widow from the Marvel movies, Clark from the 100, or any of the other really great female characters out there? Oh, Lara Croft also comes to mind. Again, very curvy and not altogether appropriately attired. Any teachers out there who might view this video and want me to talk about something else, leave a comment for me. I would love to make content that is as useful for teachers as it is for students. If you feel more prepared to think about stories from a feminist perspective, like this video and subscribe. Why not? What's it gonna hurt? And until next time, go out there and make the universe a better place.